Each trail has a difficult rating, and the trail difficult rating system is described in detail on the kiosk sign. That's currently actually on the kiosk, along with signs that say you assume all risks, helmets are mandatory, pre-ride, re-ride, free-ride sign that kind of describes like how you should like warm up and work your way up for the ride. And also trails change the other signs on there too, I believe. So there's definitely some signs we need to put up yet. So I want to ask you guys, do you want like warning signs at the top of every like downhill run? Like warning injury possible, you assume all risks. The pre-ride, re-ride, free-ride sign is pretty common in downhill parks too. A lot of downhill parks put them at this top of like a free-ride trail. Helmets required, etc. I didn't know how much like signage you wanted us to put up as far as like safety is concerned. Like what's like I know like how other trails manage it and stuff, but I didn't know. There's so many concerns about safety flying around this. It's like this is just not normal for me. Like this is like what I have now signed is like extensive. So I guess what I'm asking you guys, like most trail systems don't have like tons and tons of signage and warning signs and all that. Usually it's just basic information on the kiosk. So with all these safety issues that are being brought up by people, it's kind of my like concern. Do we overdo it with signage or?
Can't hurt.
What's that?
It can't hurt.
Yeah. See, what the problem is we're trying to change a culture here that's just ingrained, and it's not normal within a mountain bike community where we push our fellow riders to do stupid stuff and get hurt. It's not what we're about. The culture here just seems way different.
Well, I think
It's hard to
as
change
we
that.
move along in the development, those things can be discussed.
Yeah.
My question is basically just an update on what has been produced so far.
Okay.
What percentage would you say is completed?
I would say we're 90 to 95%. Like, yeah, like from the original like map and plan.
Well, there were 3 phases to the original map, weren't there?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say 95%, is that of all 3 phases or phase
Yeah,
1?
that's including medium too. Yeah.
Including the
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like dirt work that I want to do on some trails yet, but like for like establishment, like they're rideable. I believe we're almost at a point where we can finish the signage and kind of like open it. We can kind of work on it as we go, kind of thing.
And how long do you think the other 10 or 15%?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like one of those things where it's kind of like you constantly improve it. Like I have mountain bike clubs have me back to redo trails and change trails, so it's like it's always like an evolving process. Like the trails are open,
Right, they can always be improved.
Yeah.
So the existing trails that are intended to be ridden, that are not completed yet, how long do you think that?
Oh, that would. I mean, honestly,
The plan that was presented.
yeah. If I actually wanted to get, like, it would take us a weekend to open up the last trail that we have. It's full of brush and stuff to make it rideable. But it's one of those trails where I want to see how things are going, kind of thing, because it's going to have some bigger features and stuff. So I kind of want to make sure everything is kosher and people are not getting hurt and it's.
So you're saying a week, and it's completed in a week?
I mean, yeah. I think we're in a position now where all we have to do is kind of sign it. I think we could, kind of open it. Yeah.
Great.
Weather provided. We can put that in there. Like, there's no way I would. That's another thing with these parks. Like, a lot of them close it until. A lot of parks, like mountain bike parks like this, they're still closed. like they'll have closed signs up because it's so muddy.
So it's a seasonal thing?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, like a lot of it, like the one half I think could be rideable, but the other half is, like, we were back there working and it's muddy, it's,
Sure.
and you don't want people riding there when it's like that. And some people have enough sense, like, to stay off of it, but
More
Some-
maintenance.
yeah, some people don't, so it's like one of those things, it's, you go there, you do all your spring cleanup, and you smooth out the trail and stuff, and then you get people riding down the ruts, and then that's kind of what you don't want to do, what happened.
Great. Other questions from the board? Or did you have any comments, questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to address the issue, your question about, how extensively do you go with the signs, and my understanding of the mountain bike community, and other parks also, I think what you're saying is accurate, how many signs do you need?
Yeah,
You always need one more, because somebody's gonna do something stupid,
yeah,
or foolish, or whatever. So my opinion is, I think you should obviously have what you believe are necessary signage to inform people of what would be reasonably expected of a reasonably thinking person.
mhm,
Anybody on the other extreme, there's not much you can do about that.
yeah,
And by nature, mountain biking is risky.
mhm,
Of course, that's part of the appeal to it. People that like to mountain bike, they like that adrenaline rush. So, my opinion is, yeah, can it be dangerous? Yeah. Can people get hurt? Yes. Will people get hurt? Probably. Will people ride without helmets even though you have signs telling them they should have a helmet on? That will probably happen too. So you can only mitigate so much of that. You do what you can to make it as reasonably safe as possible, but at the end of the day, everyone has to assume responsibility for their own behavior.
yeah, it's,
And I think that's my opinion.
yeah, I know from my end, like, I'm not gonna build irresponsible features that I know are just way too high risk for
Sure.
people at any level to hit, kind of thing.
This isn't Moab,
Yeah. I mean, someday it can be, but it's like then you're bringing in, like, people go to those places because they know that that's extreme.
Yes.
They advance to that point in their life where, like, okay, I want to go do something really crazy.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't think we're there yet as a community necessarily, but I'm not saying that we can't get there and attract a larger crowd here and bring people in for this park. I think it could be really something awesome. Actually, I think it could be huge if we go about it the right way and kind of take our time and just make sure everything works and everybody's happy with it and the community's happy with it. Yeah, I don't see any issues with it as far as like,
I was down there a few months back during the winter time. I think it had snowed, and I went back there, looked around a little bit, and from what I could see, I didn't go through the entire, I didn't go through all the trails, but I think that the work that's being done seems workmanlike and responsible. I didn't see anything at that time that would cause me to be like, oh man, this is really, really dangerous. You need to fix this. But again, I applaud the work that you're doing, and I
thank
think
you.
it's
It's
great.
not, and it's not just me. There's, it is 15 people behind me that are
Yeah,
helping.
a lot of volunteers. That's,
Yeah, we have.
we appreciate that. It's great to have people help out to make this a real positive resource for the community and for, beyond our community.
Yeah.
So thanks for leading it. Appreciate that.
I also wanted to add, we have just this year alone, we have over 153 hours of volunteer time in just from January. And another thing I wanted to bring up with you guys is if you could help with the clarification on trail help, because I know we have like this guy here with 3 small kids that live close, and he's asking can my kids like come out and just pick up sticks on the trail, like after a storm kind of thing. So if you guys could talk about that a little bit so we're kind of clear on who can help and.
I think we do have that on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
I had a few comments and questions.
Yes.
So, because I was down there before it all started, and then I was down, maybe 6 weeks ago was the last time I was down. So a lot of the jumps that were built you know, 20, 30 years ago by kids. I just wanted to clarify that they have been either removed or fixed, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are there, I know you have a lot of tabletop jumps, are there any gap jumps?
No,
No gap jump?
Yeah.
I didn't see any, and I might have missed one area. I pretty much walked all of it.
yeah, they're all,
And I only saw tabletop, but I wanted to make sure there weren't any other gap jumps that I missed. And then there was also, so if there's a few trails that aren't complete yet when you're ready to open, I believe they should have some sort of barrier across them, so somebody doesn't try it anyway. And I did notice, because kids used to ride their dirt bikes back there too, it looks like there's some areas that were like hill climbs and stuff that's
Yeah.
not part of the mountain bike park. So if there's any area that you think somebody could misconstrue as a trail, I'd like to see that blocked.
yeah,
And I think a few extra signs couldn't hurt,
okay.
just so somebody can say, well, I didn't see that one over there. Well, there's another one here. You know, I don't think, I mean, I don't want to junk it up with signs everywhere,
That's what I
but,
don't want to do either.
but
It's
a
not,
few extra, you
Yeah.
know, I know I for one don't always see signs. So a few extra couldn't hurt. And
yeah.
that's just my opinion.
There was a neighbor that did contact me about, there must be some kids that cleared out something or whatever. I addressed it, put some sticks there, but I think it's in the development there, I think between him and his other neighbor, I think that the kids are accessing it in that back corner. So I don't know if it's gonna be an ongoing problem, but I just want to make you guys aware.
And we do have signage back there that it's closed.
It's another entrance, like at it's where they ran that water line up. It's at the very end of the development. It's in between two houses. I noticed like the kid, I think that's where the kids were coming in the summertime. But that's kind of like I told them, yeah, I don't know how.
Well, that's not an official entrance.
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
the neighbor contacted me. There was like a downhill trail that some kids must have cleared or something, so I kind of blocked it off. But
oh, good.
yeah,
I mean, kids are still gonna find
Yeah, they're
their
gonna-
way in.
they're gonna do their stuff. And it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna put signs the whole way around the perimeter.
We do have to put one sign, I checked with the borough, that's part of our zoning hearing board. We have to put one sign that says there's no entrance from that development, but it's only right at the Stub Street. That's the only one they're requiring, so the other stuff is gonna be up to those homeowners
Yeah.
to deal with the kids, you
Yeah.
know, if they're going through their yards and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's probably just a house that has kids that, you know what I mean, and then there's just the whole neighborhood. It's like, you probably all friends and you probably all just use that yard. It's whatever, even when I was a kid too once.
So I assume since last time I was there, you probably put more signage up since I was there.
Yeah.
So I did see some of the posts with the markers, but then I also saw like little laminated things. Was that just temporary?
Yeah, there's laminated ones with
So
temporary.
that's what I thought. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure that,
Yeah, you
they're
saw-
all gone by the time you.
Yeah, you saw the nice signs, 300 ones, right?
Yeah.
So we have, coming up, next will be if the board decides to institute a permission slip for volunteers to work in the park. Do you have any issues following up with that, maintaining that, gathering information for that?
I don't think I should. I've been doing it anyway, just cataloging everybody's efforts, just because it was,
All
I think
right,
you said to start doing it, I'm like, you know, that's really, I should have been doing that from the beginning, just because I was
great.
kind of curious
We're
to
gonna
come
talk
out
about that next.
puts into it.
And, all right, so thank you very much, Don. It's been,
I have a question for the board.
Pardon me?
I have a question for the board.
Hold on a second, sir.
Sure.
So we are going to go into discussion concerning the volunteer permission slip of the Mountain Bike Park.
John, if I could interrupt just a minute, do you want to talk about when to open it? Is that what you, did you have a question of when you guys, it came up?